has a lot of power, more power than people imagine. There are scientific studies that show that if someone has had surgery and you play certain types of music, the surgical wounds will heal faster with certain types of music than with others. And that is something that goes back to synchronous and dysynchronous rhythms. Our bodies live on rhythm. Hip hop is powerful because it alters the natural rhythms of our body. That's why if you've ever been in a real nightclub where the music is real loud and the system is set up right, when you come out, your heart palpitates. And anybody who really has lived a club life knows what I'm talking about. Your heart palpitates because the beat of and that's why bass is used, because it overrides. That heavy bass, boom, boom. Whatever beat it sets to, your body tries to reset to it because you feel literally the vibration coming through the floors. And so our bodies are on a rhythm. And if you know, we should have between 60 to 90 as a normal, 50 even if you're a real athletic person, 50 to 90 beats per minute of your heart rate. These songs change that. And of course, the body is made so that you beat regularly. Sinus rhythm is a regular rhythm. The sinus node of your heart sends this rhythm out, and it should beat very regularly. But dysynchronous music, what it does is it crosses up that rhythm. And so what begins to happen is you're no longer hitting every second or every 3/4 of a second a regular rhythm because the beats are off. They're set off. Your body rhythm goes off. When that happens, your mind, everything about you, how you're oxygenated, everything that happens to you is off. And anybody knows that one of the ways to get someone high is to cause anoxia or hypoxemia, which is to lower their oxygen level. That's why we have these stories in the hospital, these young girls who suffocate themselves or strangle themselves, young boys even, trying to get this weird high. It's very popular now among young people. And people think it's suicide, but what it is a craze where people are looking for another level of high. It's satanic and it's a cult, but they'll strangle themselves from their closets. We've had reports of that even here. And they'll strangle themselves because if you can get close to being, low and your oxygen levels real low, you get a buzz, you get a high. And that is part of what happens when the music is dysynchronous enough, when the beats are off enough. If you mess with the way the heart beats, you mess with the way the body is oxygenated. And so literally your brain begins to function differently and your defenses go down, more importantly. What begins to happen then is that, first of all, regular life becomes boring. If there's something that changes the way you function and adds pleasure to it, you're going to seek that pleasure. And so it changes things. So it's hard to sit through a class. How do you sit and focus on a teacher who's simply speaking in regular English with no beat, no rhythm, no nothing, or worse, if you have a lobectomy, as it's been called, and they take out this part, you lose your personality, but you lose your ability to reason. This is where the music becomes incredibly dangerous because out of this frontal lobe is where your reasoning center is. And what happens is there's a chemical released in your brain called dopamine that makes you feel high. And once anything does that, and music is a very good way to release dopamine and stimulate emotional response. Once you do that, you seek after whatever you release dopamine for. And so music becomes a literal drug. Now, that's what cocaine does. Cocaine is a powerful dopamine agonist. It makes your brain release tons of dopamine. I keep telling you guys about how one hit of a crack cocaine, and maybe I shouldn't say this on camera because I don't want anybody to go try it, but it's about 100 to 1,000 times as powerful a release of dopamine as an orgasm is. And like we were saying last night, that's why a crack addict can go without sex. And food. Food is another way. You eat good food, dopamine is released. It's pleasurable. That's why you look forward to it. Your mouth salivates at the smell of it. Right. You begin to prepare to have it even before it's there. So what has happened to our young people is that this frontal lobe is your defense system. Music bypasses the frontal lobe. It enters. Your ears are way back here. Your frontal lobe is way up here. This is your temporal lobe. Music bypasses your frontal lobe, gets into your brain, so that when music is given to you, whatever message is tied to the music is not properly analyzed.
Now, one of the things that the doctor was talking about in that video, he was saying how your heart tries to adjust to the beat, to the rhythm of the music, and your body actually follows the rhythm of the music. So when you decide to consciously let yourself go with the music, your body follows. So you start to dance. You have to make a conscious effort to not bob your head, when the song comes on. You have to make a conscious effort not to, dance, not to get up and hit the floor. Because as soon as you allow yourself to succumb to the power of the music, guess what's going to happen? You're going to start to move. You're going to start to dance to the rhythm. And that's your body adjusting to the rhythm because they are allowing themselves to succumb to the rhythm. Now, kids they usually don't have a choice. You know, sometimes they can do it, but you see younger kids, they get in front of the TV, they hear that music, they start shaking to the rhythm. Nobody taught your kid how to dance. Your kid is just learning how to walk. Sometimes kids don't even walk yet. They can crawl. But when they hear that music, they'll climb up on something, you know, or they'll rock back and forth. We've all seen this. This is the power of music.